Hello, my fellow Americans. This is A J Wildman. In case you're wondering, the A stands for Andrew. I'm introducing the Wildman for President YouTube channel in the first series, first set of 6 videos. We'll also be talking a little bit about the other things coming down the road. There's a little bit of background on myself. I have 34 years of information technology experience in Washington, D.C., serving both corporate and federal agency clients. Was never a federal agency employee, but never a civil servant. Now, over the last 9 years, I left the computer business 9 years ago. I've completed 2 books, the second of which is called The Second Coming of Common Sense, a la Thomas Paine. It's Common Sense back in 1776, like a modern-day sequel. It basically talks about, from an independent analytical point of view, what's wrong with America, and actually, for a change, how we can fix it. It's not a book that says, here's all these problems, yada, 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 and then the book ends. We actually get into, here's a problem, here's why it's a problem, and here's a solution to it that I believe 60% of the American public will vote for, and that really comes in handy when you're looking for votes. And this was done after thousands of one-on-one conversations with people about all kinds of issues. I also founded the American Peasant Party. I picked the name peasant because generally that's what we are, whether it's 1% or 99% or 5% or 95%. That's how we're treated by our elected officials. We have a broken 2-party system, and we really need not just a third party, we need a viable third party. And a viable third party is going to have a comprehensive platform, and we'll be adding to it as they go along. Most independent parties, frankly, have 1 or 2 issues. That's all they really care about, and that's all they promote. And so they really don't interest the voters beyond those couple little issues, and that's not enough to do anybody any real good. And finally, of course, I am an independent candidate for President of the United States in 2012. Now, in the first set of videos, the next one was going to be called our Third Civil War, the Second American Revolution, because technically that's what we're having right now. The Occupy Wall Street group, which we have one here in New Orleans, which is where I've been living the last 3 years. Occupy NOLA, as it's called. They had a march on October 6th, and they had another one October 15th, which I participated in both of those. So I'm probably the only candidate right now who's actually been out there marching with the folks. And the bigger one on the 15th, which is more of a national event, went on for a good 2.5 hours. So it was a good experience. So check out those little videos ahead of these, and they're pretty good. They give you a sense of what it's like to actually be in the marches. Next, we're going to talk about the political movement that we're starting up here, another grassroots movement, just like Occupy Wall Street. And you can see now how quickly these things can spread. All right, majority of people down at the site, and actually they're camped out in NOLA right in front of City Hall in Duncan Plaza. And the city's been pretty good about them being there. Granted, they are primarily a group of 20-somethings. Of course, if the 20-somethings have really got the most to worry about in the overall picture, don't they? But there were people in the marches of all ages. All right, you've got the 80s, the 60s, the 80s, and the aughts, or the millennials, as they call themselves sometimes. Everybody's represented because everybody's worried, and people get involved in politics the more they get worried. Okay. Next video will be a little bit of a bio, a little history on myself. After that, I'll have a video where I will talk about some of the proposals in the book. And then I have something that's called Jobs of a Permanent Nature. I have 4 or 5 suggestions there on how we can get some jobs going in the country, which are not just, not that the jobs programs that the Congress or the Republicans refuse to pass right now won't help. Roads, bridges, and teachers and policemen. All right, but these will be ongoing jobs. Beyond that, I will launch into a series of maybe 10 or 15 videos covering some of the 27 proposals in the book. Now, those 27 proposals, again, they're called an American Agenda, actually now form the basis of the platform of the American Peasant Party. And we'll be promoting those and talking with you about them as time goes by. I think it's good to maybe take 15 or so of those and just talk with you about what they are. And you can hear me talking about it and get a better sense of where I'm coming from on all this. I think it's good for people to hear the candidate's voice, and I think this is a good medium to do it with. Now, beyond that, uh, I will be just posting videos about how we're going to grow the grassroots program across the country. We're going to build a chapter in all 435 U.S. districts, and from there we will find of these total of about 700,000 people in every one of the U.S. districts, totaling 310 million people. That's who we are. Uh, we're going to find candidates to run against Congress next year, and I'll go into good detail about how that can actually work, because we can do it. I'll make comments on little videos on campaign issues. I'll probably try to put something up at least 5 days a week. So anything that's current, I'll be talking with you directly, and I think that's a much more effective way to talk, communicate with people. And there will be no, as they say, mudslinging in this campaign, because you and me and this party, this movement is going to talk solving our problems. Republicans and Democrats want to go play their games, they can go do that. We're not going to need to do that. That really wraps up what I wanted to say here initially. I thank you for tuning in. We have a great chance here, folks, to, as people have said over the years, to take back our government, take control over our government. The Constitution gives us the ability to do that, and we have the numbers now, and we certainly have the motivation. Our country is reaching crisis mode in the imbalance of wealth and political power, and we're just going to have to roll up our sleeves and take it to them and get our problems fixed. So right now, you take care, and I'll see you in the next video.